reigning Western Conference champions. That's number 9 on my list. And who better to talk to that about that than anybody else than the one and only Chris Paul, point guard extraordinaire for the Phoenix Suns. What's going on, Big Time? How are you?
I'm well, Stephen A. And yourself?
I'm doing great, man. I want to get into a lot of things with you. I definitely want to talk to you about FAMU and what you're executive producing on ESPN Plus. We'll get into that in a few minutes. But the first order of business is the sport of basketball. First of all, how are you guys feeling right now? How are you feeling about your team for this upcoming season?
Good, really good. We're excited. I think the best thing our team got coming back this year is continuity. We got a lot of the same faces that we had last year, but just like everybody else, we got to start over.
You finished 51-21 last season, CP3. You won the Western Conference Finals. Did that surprise you at all that you guys were able to pull that off? Is that your expectations when you first arrived there last year?
I don't think it surprised us at all. And every time we step on the court, we expect to win. The guys in our locker room, the coaching staff that we had and that we have now, being led by Monty. He's an unbelievable coach, a mentor, and, we just try to stick to our principles, and we'll do the same this year.
Y'all lost in the finals. Y'all were up 2-0 and ended up losing to the finals. As you reflect on what transpired in that NBA finals that led to y'all defeat, what do you really focus on? What do you peel from that experience? How did it happen?
Man, you learn so much. We lost to a really good team, good Bucks team. They beat us. Obviously, there's a lot of things that I feel like I could have done better, things that we could have done better as a team. But you learn from it and you move on, and you have to get ready for this upcoming season.
DeAndre Ayton is a big time player. He really showed a lot of promise and development as the season progressed last year. I thought he really had a good playoff. Then obviously he ran into a little something different in Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA Finals. Now he sits here and he's making news because there seems to be a stall in contract talks or what have you. How concerned are you that this is a guy that's not going to be a part of the long-term plans for the Phoenix Suns in the future? I can't imagine that's going to be the case, but how concerned are you about that?
I'm not concerned. That's the business of the game. Those contract talks happen as players, agents, all that stuff. We got Mikal Bridges, another guy who's a big part of our team. So, hopefully that stuff will take care of itself so we can get back to playing and, doing what we do.
As you reflect on your career, particularly over the last 2 seasons, I remember a couple of seasons ago, people looked at you and they wondered how much you had left. Yet you arrive in Phoenix after being an all-star in Oklahoma City the previous year. You arrive in Phoenix. You play lights out. You're an all-star again. You average 16-9 on the season, and you lead this team to the NBA Finals. What did last year say to you? I know what it said to everybody else in the basketball universe about you and how extraordinary you are as a point guard. What did it say to you about yourself at this point in time in your career?
I think it just told me to keep working. I think over the years, I'm so blessed to be going into my 17th season, but it's about the work. It's about putting the work in and day out and being grateful for the opportunity. But yeah, that was it. It's never been about anything else but the work. This is a kid's game that we get a chance to take care of our families playing. And I'm going to continue to do that and try to do it at a high level.
You constantly preach that message all the time, but it's not just about you. You say that message for a lot of people out there, for people who don't know you. A lot of times you play the role of a mentor to a lot of people. A lot of cats call you up, they listen to you, they get your guidance and your tutelage and what have you. Do you feel that it's important now more than ever to disseminate that kind of message about it being about the work? And if so, why do you feel at this particular moment in time that it's important to send that kind of message?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. It's always been about the work. And for me, I'm big in grassroots basketball, right? So my dad spent his entire 401k on me and my brother playing travel basketball. My mom was team mom on every AAU trip. And so the fact that we have our own program and I have the opportunity to see kids who use this game to change their lives, right? So I think for me, it's just always that, is if I know something, if I got any piece of knowledge that'll help the next guy, help the next young lady, whoever it may be, then I can't help but to share it.
Mhm. I got you. Let me transition real quick to the subject of a Kyrie Irving right now. I know you're no longer when you think about the role C.J. McCollum is going to be the president of the NBA Players Association after you served so admirably for years in that position. But you got a guy like Kyrie Irving that's making some noise right now because of the whole vaccination situation. I guess the question to ask you would be, what's your take on all of the noise that has been made about the vaccine situation involving the NBA, considering the mandates that exist in New York and in San Francisco that potentially compromised Andrew Wiggins before he ended up getting vaccinated, and of course, it's still compromising potentially the Brooklyn Nets because Kyrie, at least at this moment in time, hasn't handled that situation. What are your thoughts about all of that?
Yeah, I think every situation is personal. Every situation is different and it's personal. It's not up to me to make a decision for anybody except for me and my family. I had some unbelievable years as the president of the PA and still involved here and there in different things. But yeah, I feel on any situation it's up to that individual, and they have to make that decision for them and their family.
Let me transition to Why Not Us, because obviously you're the executive producer of that. We're going to focus on FAMU football. There's no question about that. You're an executive producer. It's exclusively on ESPN Plus starting October 14th. My birthday, by the way. Not that anybody cares, but I'm letting you know that. This season of Why Not Us will follow Florida A&M head coach Willie Simmons and his 2021 Rattlers as they begin play in a brand new conference, the SWAC. Before I ask you about that, I believe we have the trailer. Let's watch that.
It's gonna be gunning for your this year.
This institution can prepare you for anything in life.
All for one. All for one. One for all. One for all. All for the rest. All for the rest. Yeah.
You see it right there, CP3. What can we expect to see from this season of Why Not Us?
Man, it's going to be exciting. As you know, we got a chance to do the story about North Carolina Central basketball last season, which was dope in itself. But this is different. I mean, I grew up playing football. A lot of people don't know, but I played varsity football instead of varsity basketball for 2 years in high school. And so you just get to see the camaraderie of these guys. You get to see how they train, how they get ready for their season. And you see what it's like being at a big school like FAMU, and you get to see Willie Simmons as the coach and what that culture is like.
Remind the audience of why it's so important to you to tell these HBCU stories and highlight HBCU athletic programs.
Yeah, it's important to me, first and foremost, because it's part of my DNA. You know, even though I went to Wake Forest University, I grew up right there at Winston-Salem State. I was at football games every Saturday, and that's just part of my family and part of my upbringing. And so to tell these stories are huge because you get a chance to see what a lot of these kids are going through, the different environments that they come through, and their struggle, and what it looks like for them to try to level the playing field. And it's dope, man, because a lot of times kids don't get a chance to hear their stories. They only see the stories of, you know, the Blue Bloods and these big schools out here. So I'm proud of our team, and I'm excited about this project with FAMU.
I want to get into something else you're doing, because in addition to your Why Not Us efforts, you're also hosting the Chris Paul HBCU tip-off this November. That's featuring 4 historically black colleges and universities, of course. Tell us a bit about this event and how it came together.
Yeah, man, we another showcase. You know, we want to get the eyeballs on these different schools, these programs. So bringing it out here in partnership with the Naismith Hall of Fame, it's going to be exciting. We're playing it here at the Footprint Center. We got West Virginia State, Morehouse, Virginia Union, and of course, Winston-Salem State University. So I'm excited about that. It's a 2-day tournament.
Listen, you going to school at my alma mater, man. Listen, I can't thank you enough for all that you've done for HBCUs. It's near and dear to my heart, as you well know. But no matter what efforts I put into it, it's nothing compared to all the great stuff that you've been doing. So I wanted to thank you for that. But before I let you get on out of here, what's the Phoenix Suns going to do this year? What's the Phoenix Suns going to do this year, considering the fact that the Lakers are loaded, Utah, Denver, Dallas, teams like that are still in the conference. But, of course, the story is the Lakers because of all the horses that they've got, including 2 of your best friends in LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony. Your thoughts real quick about what y'all going to do this season against those guys.
Anybody else you want to name? Any other team? You know what I mean? It's just funny, man. I've been in the West my entire career. 17 years in the West. It ain't never been easy. You know what I mean? So you take it game by game. Every team in the West they feel like they got a chance going into the season, and I feel like the West is going to be just as tough this year as it's been any other year.
My man. Stream Why Not Us, FAMU football next Thursday, October 14th on ESPN Plus. One of the greatest point guards in the history of basketball, the one and only Chris Paul. Appreciate your time, my man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
No doubt. Back to you, Molly.
Class act right there. Love that message. Don't forget, Stephen A., we're going to be live from the campus of FAMU.